United States of America, created by people who wanted to be free, people with a firm belief in themselves and in the kind of government and free enterprise that provides opportunity and encourages accomplishment. Freedom and individual initiative. They've helped keep America growing and prospering for 200 years. Our bicentennial is a time to reflect on our past and on how we as a people lived and hoped and worked to produce the miracles that made our country so unique and so fulfilling. It's also a time to rededicate ourselves to the principles that nourished us. Now, in the next half hour, you'll see the story of a remarkable bicentennial event. It's called the American Freedom Train. It will be seen by over 40 million people as it travels from coast to coast across this continent. Now, the American Freedom Train is a people's project. It was conceived and developed in the real spirit of the bicentennial. It is non-commercial and it is non-political. It will never make a profit. It was not intended to, but it will make a lasting impression on millions of Americans. The train is supported solely by private donations and ticket sales. It does not receive a single penny from the federal government or from your taxes. Now, as you can see by this plaque on board the train, 4 American corporations provided the initial grant that made the American Freedom Train possible. The General Motors Corporation, Kraft Foods, Pepsi-Cola Company, and the Prudential Insurance Company of America. The people of these corporations are from all walks of life with different skills and different ideas. But they have joined together with millions of others to celebrate America's 200th anniversary through the American Freedom Train. And that's what this bicentennial is all about. People. Inside this train are the sights, the sounds, the documents, and the artifacts of our colorful past. It's not a museum. It's an experience of somehow touching and sharing the lives of the Americans represented in the exhibits. And now the story of the American Freedom Train.
It started one day in 1776. Suddenly, we were no longer part of the old world. We were a new thought, a new idea. We were the United States of America. A gathering of people who came from different countries, spoke different languages, all banding together in a great social experiment. They called themselves We the People. They had a country to protect, together, to build together. An incredible collection of individuals who had to work and think and invent, who did all the things people had to do together to try to form that more perfect union called democracy. "200 years later, still growing and changing, still a collection of individuals, still the United States of America."
It all began with these documents.
John Warner, head of the American Revolution Bicentennial Administration.
Everything we have done as a nation, as a people, has been based upon these blueprints: the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, kept here at the National Archives, always to remind us not only to look at them, but to read them and to talk about them, to decide whether the hopes and the aspirations as written in these documents have been fulfilled. We, the people, are growing, expanding in freedom, and that's what the bicentennial is all about. One of the biggest, most important bicentennial events is the epic journey of the American Freedom Train. Drawn by a giant steam locomotive, this 24-car train brings to the people an exciting documentary of our history on a 22-month, 22,000-mile journey.
People started it, people building it, people helping it grow. People loving it, people moving it, people making it so.
It all began to happen 200 years ago.
America, take a look at your country. The how, the who, the when, the where, the why. America, take a look at your country. Don't let the train go by.
America, take a look at your country. The work, the ways, the words will fill your eyes. America, take a look at your country. Don't let the train go by. Through peace and war, the old country store, from mountains to shores, we're moving.
Highs and lows, through Broadway and shores, like a river it flows, it keeps moving. It keeps moving.
America, take a look at your country. The how, the who, the when, the where, the why. America, take a look at your country. Don't let the train go by.
Don't let the train go.
The Freedom Train got started in the best possible place for creating a new train, an old converted railroad station in Lebanon, New Jersey. A group of people, experts, were assembled to explore the possibilities of a dream. The dream of Ross Rowland, a young stockbroker. His love of trains and country suggested a special kind of event for the nation's bicentennial celebration. A living, traveling documentary that would move across the continental United States, that would bring historical documents and artifacts to millions of Americans. It would be called the American Freedom Train. He wondered if it was possible.
When I first told people about my idea to put together a half-mile-long red, white, and blue train, a train to be pulled by a giant steam locomotive, and to put on that train some of our nation's most important artifacts and documents and take them to the people, most of the folks couldn't envision the project. Fortunately, the right people did listen and came forward to help us get the train going. Why a train? Well, if you think back to the middle years of the last century, to the years when the railroads spun their threads across the prairies, through the deserts, over the Rockies, to tie this nation together for the first time. In those days, the sound of the train whistle got into the bloodstream of America. It became part of our national soul. And just as the railroads united America of a century ago, I saw the travels of the Freedom Train as a symbol that would bring together the people of our nation.
After months of meetings, discussions, planning, and fundraising, the dream turned to reality one morning in Venice, Florida, when a group of skilled craftsmen began changing the look of old baggage cars, getting them ready to become part of the Freedom Train. The cars had been retired, were out of service. Cars that long ago moved across the continent, carrying their cargo of goods to help make the country go. Now they were being brought back to life, to carry a new, very special, priceless cargo of the nation's history. And a gathering of people went to work on them with as much tender, loving care as a blowtorch and their skills would allow. On the other side of the continent, in Richmond, California, other people came together with their individual skills to help transform still other cars. Welders, engineers, carpenters, painters. 50 experienced mechanics to put in a moving walkway that would carry millions of Americans past relics and replicas of the nation's 200-year history. Air conditioning and heating engineers set out to design and build a total environmental system to protect priceless documents from humidity and temperature. Fire equipment experts created a whole new kind of fail-safe system that would protect both artifacts and people. In the course of their work, the people in Richmond, California, and the people in Venice, Florida, would cut their way through several tons of old steel to bring into being a fresh, exciting bicentennial concept of our national heritage. In Larchmont, New York, designer Barry Howard and his staff were creating designs that would transform interiors of old baggage cars into unusual contemporary display modules. At the end of December 1974 in Portland, Oregon, one of the great iron horses was pulled from its pedestal in a park. No longer a monument to the past, the old engine, like the baggage cars, was coming out of retirement. The children who've been crawling around it for years, pretending and dreaming, would see it alive, back in action. It weighs in at 900,000 pounds. Built in 1941, the Southern Pacific Daylight engine would be used on the western part of the Freedom Train's run. And at the same time, a Reading T1484 was coming out of retirement to take over the eastern part of the trip. A foot shorter and 50,000 pounds lighter to fit into certain small clearances that dot the eastern tracks. January 1975. America's leading builders of industrial exhibits in Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Alexandria begin to transform designs and blueprints into all the exciting displays that would bring the past to life. They were shaping a replica of the theater box Lincoln sat in at Ford's Theater. They were finishing columns and doors and the windows through which you will look into the past, and completing the walls of displays through which the walkway will carry you on your trip across the nation's history.
Then Honest Abe stepped in the cab, and the wheels
In
began
Nashville,
to roll.
Tennessee, capital of country and western music, recording stars Dolly Parton and Porter Wagner were recording their rendition of Here Comes the Freedom Train.
As he drove the train with fury, and freedom did survive.
Once again the train rolled westward to California's golden shore, through the desert and the prairie, stronger than before. From Atlantic to Pacific, she rolled the rails with pride, and traveled the tracks to glory, that good old American kind. All aboard America, here comes the freedom train. All aboard America, here comes the freedom train.
Where do you go to find 200 years of American history? It took a trained staff to comb the entire country. We talked to thousands of people in museums, institutions, as well as many private collectors. We finally narrowed it down so that the 10 exhibit cars would contain 512 artifacts and documents from 285 lenders in 110 cities. It was a real challenge.
Early in February, people in museums all over the country and unique private collectors like Anne and Rundle Gilbert of Garrison, New York, were cataloging, coding, and shipping off artifacts that would fill the Freedom Train's display cars.
From every corner of the earth we have come, bearing gifts of intellect and skill, art and compassion. We are, all of us, Americans, struggling together, suffering together.
In recording studios, stage and film stars were taping the sounds of history. Stars like Ozzie Davis, and among many others, actor-singer Richard Kiley. Leon Leonidoff, famed director of the Radio City Music Hall, is a member of the Freedom Train's National Advisory Board.
Just you imagine the thrill of a child watching this great steam engine of this beautiful red, white, and blue Freedom Train approaching any town of our country. And when I say child, I really mean a child from 5 to 85. You know, I am in this country for 52 years. And that country has done so much for me that you now can imagine how proud I am to be part of this project.
By early 1975, the display cars were being put into final shape. In Venice, in Richmond, the cars were being made ready for final inspection. The engineers gave their final seal of personal approval. Everything had to work perfectly for the Freedom Train's epic journey. But there was still plenty to do. By the middle of February, the cars were shipped to the design fabricators around the country. It was now their job to install the hundreds of displays, pictures, mechanical devices, projectors, video players, and 500 of some of America's most priceless documents and artifacts. Now there was a sense of urgency, and there was a special sense of achievement. Everybody here was now part of the dream, part of the history that would become the American Freedom Train. In Alexandria, a 1904 Oldsmobile Scout came aboard one of the showcase cars, as did an 1849 fire engine, an 1834 locomotive, and a twice the life-size replica of the Liberty Bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Obviously, I'm tremendously pleased to participate in the official ceremony recognizing the American Freedom Train as a major bicentennial effort.
By the end of March, the Freedom Train was ready. No longer just the dream of one man. It was a reality built by people, for the people. Let's go aboard the American Freedom Train. In Car 1, you'll experience the beginnings of this country. In an old print shop window is a copy of Poor Richard's Almanac. In a miniature setting of Boston Harbor, you'll see a replica of the Old North Church lantern. While on the soundtrack, you'll hear the recreated voices of those times. You'll see priceless documents from our past, some over 200 years old, written with words that still have meaning today. Car 2 is a capsule of exploration and expansion. From the early Indian artifacts, you'll experience the first movement west, the sounds of wagon wheels and voices that helped create the excitement of a new nation. A nation expanding and exploring all the elements of nature. A country moving from wagon wheels to rocket ships, always searching and reaching out to the moon and beyond. Car 3 carries you through 200 years of change. Dramatic displays create a visual mosaic of America's growth as a nation. From wilderness to megalopolis, from horse and buggies to today's jets, from log cabins to skyscrapers, our national parks and recreation facilities, all a part of the American scene. In Car 4, you'll discover something about yourself. The fact that except for the Indians, we are a nation of immigrants.
For thousands of years, we were the only
incredible, lifelike mannequins will talk to you.
You're a minority.
In a sense, this car reflects our ancestors from all over the world as they confirm our 200 years of heritage. The inventors take over car number 5, the people who gave us the base for our American know-how. Franklin, Edison, Bell. You'll see a marvelous array of original inventions, artifacts that range from ordinary tools to American inventions that change the way the whole world lives, eats, communicates, travels from then to now. Car 5 is the continuing American technological revolution. Car 6 celebrates we the people at all our daily tasks. 200 years of farmers, factory workers, office workers, firemen, policemen, doctors, lawyers, merchants, writers, poets, teachers, housewives. As the walkway carries you through Car 6, you begin to celebrate yourself. We the people. In Car 7, you celebrate the history of American sports. See replicas of the great heroes and heroines of the past and the present. An exciting array of pictures, documents, valuable artifacts that create a sports happening. A 200-year heritage of memories and surprises. Each and every one of them very much a part of America's history. Car 8 takes you into the world of entertainment, the performing arts. There are excerpts from great old movies, The Mill, Griffith, actual artifacts, costumes, and props from Academy Award-winning films of the past. You'll move along the walkway to experience the greats of Broadway, the plays and musicals that make up our theatrical heritage, the sounds of old radio shows. It's a dazzling montage of entertainment. In car number 9, you'll see the works of painters and sculptors who have used this country to reflect the look of people and their changing habits, fixed them in time with their paintbrushes and imaginations. Car 10, in a sense, sums up the whole American experience. The first 9 cars have woven the fabric of American history, and Car 10 illustrates several moments when that fabric has been strained almost to the point of breaking. Crisis moments, out of which the people have come through a little wiser and stronger. And as you move into the exit car, you share the lines, "Now let us celebrate America, its heritage and its strength, and together, let us build a meaningful tomorrow." Finally, the big day arrived. April 1st, 1975, Wilmington, Delaware. The start of the Freedom Train's epic journey. At 8 a.m., the line stretched 3 miles, and by evening, 40,000 people saw the American Freedom Train. They wanted to be part of this once-in-a-lifetime experience. These people came to the Freedom Train to go on board and get involved in the moments and miracles that created this unique experiment called the United States of America. After all, they come from this past. The people, the places, the sights and sounds that make up history are very much a part of them. It is their bicentennial.
I enjoyed it very much.
I thought it was fantastic.
It's a very great thing for the American people to be able to see all the diversity of all of the cultures, not only of my people, but of all the different people.
I liked the mannequins that talked. I thought that was really unusual.
I like the baseball players. Freedom Bell. The sports.
Hey, this is fantastic. I think it's one of the best things that could happen for the bicentennial.
Oh, we liked it real well.
Kids were really interested. They found a lot of stuff they really enjoyed.
It really brings to mind what we have and how precious what we have should be to us.
I really love to hear the comments of the people as they come off the train. It makes it all seem so worthwhile. There's something on there for everyone, there really is. And you hear them talking about George Washington's copy of the Constitution, the moon rocks, the Louisiana Purchase, the real one. Willard's painting of the Spirit of '76. The invention car is so popular. Bob Lanier's sneaker. We have put together a collection that's unforgettable, that people will not ever again have a chance to see in one plate.
I liked all of it. I think it's so well put together. And what I'm surprised about is how they collected so many different things for it. It's out of this world.
I think it's terrific for the family to see something like this. It shows them what our heritage is and helps us to be more thankful for the things that we have today. I think it's one of the greatest things that's come to our town.
One of the most thrilling experiences of the whole adventure is to be on the locomotive as you're going across the country and see the thousands upon thousands of people that come down to trackside in small towns and big cities everywhere. Some places we go through, there are thousands of people there. As you can see, school buses lined up for a mile down the road, and the kids all lined up trackside. Some of them probably will never get to see the inside of it, but they still felt the experience of the train as it passed them.
Kids, families, people. That's what the bicentennial is all about. And I can't tell you how thrilling and exciting it is to be taking America's heritage to these people. Not only those that come to view the exhibit, but the thousands that line the trackside as we cross this great land of ours. The train's a huge success. It was built through donations, and its operation costs are covered by ticket sales. We're just overwhelmed with the response. This is a truly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reflect on America and see 200 years of our heritage, how far and how fast we've gone from the Minuteman to the astronaut.
Started it, people building it, people helping it grow. People loving it, people moving it, people making it so.
It all began to happen 200 years ago.
America, take a look at your country. The how, the who, the when, the where, the why. America, take a look at your country. Don't let the train go by.
America, take a look at your country. The work, the ways, the words will fill your eye. America, take a look at your country. Don't let the train go by. Through peace and war, the old country store, from mountains to shores, we're moving.
Through highs and lows, through vaudevillian shores, like a river it flows, it keeps moving. It keeps moving.
America, take a look at your country. The how, the who, the where, the where, the why. America,